Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. What we're gonna show you today, it's a crackme challenge. But before we start, one good news is finally we reached 600 star. Okay, it's finally we reached 600 star, and we have a couple of important updates which we would like to share with you. The first one is, of course, finally we sort of completed our first phase of GDB server. We support multi-arch. So right now we support ARM, we support MIPS for MIPS 32 for Little Endian and Big Endian, of course. ARM 64, it's completely supported right now. x86 and x64, of course. The only thing we are still working on, it's on the multi-threading. We are still having issue on the core system. Hopefully we're gonna fix it real soon, and we're gonna port everything over to the GDB. So hopefully in maybe a month or two, we should be able to support multi-threading already. So let's go to the main challenge today. We are looking at this challenge. I was browsing through the web, and I was looking for some of the anti debug techniques, and I discovered this crackme. Frankly speaking, it's not too hard. It says difficulty level is 3, but I personally think it's still not too hard for level 3, but they do brought up some very interesting techniques. Okay, not a very new technique, but it's still a very interesting techniques. Okay, I mean, of course it's not new, but it's still very interesting. So let's look at this challenge right now. So okay, this is the file. I do have some collection, so I can test whatever files that I wanted to test with Qiling framework. So let's take a look at this file. So first thing first. Okay, before we run a file, before we run a crackme, a CTF challenge, or before we wanted to analyze any file, the first thing that we would like to do is to check what's the file information. All right, this is very clear. ELF 32 bits, that will be a x86 platform for sure. It says Intel 8036. Okay, and the interesting thing over here is it says too many section. Okay, so it looks very weird on this part. So let's try to execute it. It might work, it might not work. Okay, so there we go, 1 2 3. Okay, everything seems to be fine. The more things that we would like to know is we can look at the string of the file. So the only interesting thing is let's look at this. Okay, I'm sorry, GDB, you're not allowed. So this is the first clue that we have. All right, and then tracing the file is not allowed. That will be another clue that we might wanted to know. Okay, so 1 and 2. All right, the other one is password is correct, congratulations, no, try again. Okay, that will be something not too fun, not too okay, that will be something that not really concern us. Okay, so if we move on a little bit, the thing that we might wanted to know, it's can we GDB it? All right, since we are in the right platform, so we might be able to run it. Okay, there we go. So wrong file format. So let's do a run, so we can see clearly that if we try to run with GDB, it's no executable file being specified, file it's not being able to recognize. So clearly we cannot use GDB to analyze this file. Okay, at least out from the box we cannot use GDB. So let's move on. So if you run the read elf command, all right, the magic header is correct. So we know that it's gonna be 100% elf file, and then elf32 for sure, little endian for sure. If you move on a little bit down here, it says warning. All right, part of the header it's corrupted. Okay, some of the header is not readable. And we move on a little bit, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. So what is wrong over here is that it looks like this is a handcrafted ELF file, a very simple crackme that trying to avoid you to run with GDB, to run with debugger. So, I mean, you can execute it perfectly for sure, but when you try to analyze it with debugger, it will not work. So, if you're gonna do asterisk right now, oops. If you're gonna do F-trace right now, okay, we can see everything runs perfectly right until, okay, P-trace, a very common anti-debugging technique. All right, so tracing is not allowed, blah, 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 blah. So this is what they implemented over here. So, okay, what we're gonna do right now, it's as usual, we're gonna look at Qiling frameworks and how we can solve this CDF challenge. So let's move on. Should be somewhere up here. So together with Qiling framework, there's a thing called qltools. qltools is a very useful tool that you don't have to script. If you want to analyze a very simple executable file, you don't have to script the entire Python file to run the crackme. I mean, from our previous video, you can see things like if you want to run a hello world, this is what we might have to do. So we have to do the import Qiling and load up the framework, okay, the additional settings and run it. But in this situation, this is a very simple crackme file, and I don't want to waste my time to create a Python file for this. So I'm gonna use a qltools run, okay, and the file name, the root fs, which is here, okay, and to run the file. So it should be like that, okay. And we don't need the GDB server for now. So what we can see over here is this is perfect. All right, it loads the file, it goes on into the syscall, okay, run, and done. 1 2 3, password wrong, no, try again. Exactly what we are expecting. Okay, so if we go on a little bit, we can do a off. All right, so from what you know, it's by default it will run in asterisk mode. So what makes this different from the asterisk is if you try to asterisk the file. So remember, if you try to asterisk the file, it will not work due to the tracing. Okay, it will not work due to the tracing because there is a ptrace call and check whether you are in a tracing mode or not. And then if you're using Qiling, and then you just enable asterisk. this is what you can get. And you can even go into a debug mode. So whether it's asterisk or not, it got nothing to do with us in this particular stage, because the asterisk implementation is not the real asterisk inside the kernel. So the file will not be able to intercept whatever things that to check whether we are in a debug mode or not. Okay, so if we move on a little bit, so still remember we are trying to we try to run, we try to continue. Nothing it's work with GDB. Okay, so that. I'm gonna enable GDB at port 0000 9999. Why? The reason why we want to run on a port 00 and running on the wildcard host is this is a VirtualBox. This is a VMware, and we are inside a VMware environment. And unfortunately, my IDA Pro is running on my IDA Pro is on Windows. So we're gonna listen. All right, and there we go. This thing smaller. Okay. So first thing first, this is how the file looks like. I'm gonna open up the file. So I'm gonna show you a new instance and to show you what happened when we open up the file. Okay. Because we're gonna back this one, all right. And then in order to avoid the conflict, we're gonna move the things over here. So we're gonna look at these things. All right, it says it's a ELF 386, okay, a 32-bit ELF file. And this is what we're gonna get. All right, try to load the file. It says the entry size is not valid. Okay, SHD size is not valid. Again, SHD size is not valid. Okay, the section header, it's not valid. And then unsupported ELF version, continue. Of course, continue. Okay, and that is how we can load up the file, and we don't have to care about now. So I'm going to quit, all right, and I'm going to start another IDE to open up my backup file. Why the backup file? It's because I already saved almost everything there, and I don't have to repeat all these things again. So GDB server is up, okay, and so this is how the setup looks like. I'm gonna connect to my VM, my port number, okay, and just like that, all right. It will start to attach the file, so and so forth, blah 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 blah, and okay, we already set a couple of breakpoints. We already set a couple of breakpoints over here, so we already set a couple of breakpoints over here, and this is what we're gonna less concern, and then we're gonna skip the few parts. Okay, so the first F9 that I press, it will goes to so first of all, we skip the tracing part. So when IDA connects to a Qiling's GDB server, it's still not able to detect. Okay, it's still not able to detect. The ptrace is still not able to detect, so it will skip. All right, and I'm going to go on with my second F9. The second stop is over here. I just want to make sure I want to go into the call previously. Okay, my third F9. So what we can see over here is it says please tell me my password. So here we're going to be extra careful. F8, F8. Okay, step over, one more step over, step over, step over, step over. Okay, this is where we should be able to get our input. All right, so please tell me my password. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, so there's two call over here. Okay, so let's move into this one. Let's do a step over. All right, the first call. I already set a breakpoint previously, so we can just continue to run, and then we can see the first part over here is to compare EBX and whether your EBX is have 8 characters or not. So 0x8, that will be simply equivalent to the total of 9 characters, which what I input just now, 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, and we move on. So there is a call over here. So a call after a call. I already set a breakpoint previously. So what we can see is it will load through the 9 character, and then they'll call. They will go for OR90H. So it will take our character to OR with each and every character, right? Then to compare with something for sure. Okay, so if we move on, okay, this will be the character. Again, still to check. Okay, and OR and check. So technically, this will loop 9 times. Okay, just now was like the 4th time, the 5th time, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th. Okay, then we should be out of the loop. Technically, either 1 or 2 times. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so after we out from the loop, what we can really see over here is that there is a comparison between the targeted answer. So this will be the targeted answer that we want. All right. This will be the targeted answer that we want, and this will be the data that we put in. Okay. So after the comparison, then if it goes down, okay, goes down, then it will move to the place whereby it will tell you we will going to go back to the main function, and then this will be the part we will know whether our password is correct or not. Again, if you simply want to get the correct message, always look at your ZF. Okay, increase by 1, decrease by 1, then you will be able to switch. So look at this, increase by 1, it will switch to the red line, the blinking red line will switch to this box, and the decrease, then it will switch to this box. So the changes will be here. Alright, this will be a very quick and simple video to demonstrate how we can actually skip a couple of things. Number one is we can skip a broken ELF header, okay, which is not a Qiling's concern, but It is a concern for IDA Pro, that's number one. It is a concern for GDB server. GDB server will not be able to execute it or analyze it. The actual way or the traditional way to solve this issue is that you have to patch the file to make the header looks legit. Then you can try to execute in GDB server. Okay, but in our case over here, we don't have to do it. Okay, because a broken header got nothing to do with us. We are executed just like a Linux box. You try to run a broken ELF header, as long as not too broken, especially crafted ELF header should be able to run in Linux, and it will be able to run in Qiling's emulator. That's number one. Number two, it's the ptrace. All right, so we implemented the ptrace in a way that the ptrace will not trace back to yourself. So strace will not help you, but ptrace, strace, ltrace will not be able to help you because of the ptrace checking and the ptracer implementation. And the way how we implement this is called for ptrace in Qiling emulator is totally different. So you will not be able to get any obstacle from here. And all right, that's about it. So thank you for watching. Please do leave the comments if you like it. Thank you very much. I hope you learned something today.